A girl disappeared, and no one knew where she was. But the strangest part? She was seen near the university just a few days ago. Melanie is a third-year design student. Alex studies programming 1 year above her. They are friends. And they love solving mysteries. This morning began with an annoying alarm clock that seemed to ring right inside her head. Melanie reached out to turn it off and realized she was absolutely not ready to get up.
Just 15 more minutes,
she thought. But the quiet moment was broken by a knock on the door. Her mom's voice from the other side reminded her that it was Friday and she had to get ready for university. Melanie liked studying, but today, for the first time in 3 years, she felt like skipping classes. The reason was yesterday. A day that lasted too long. And it had started as usual. A light breakfast. A walk through the park. Morning coffee with her friend Alex in the area behind the university. But that day, a private detective arrived at the university. He was investigating the case of a missing girl named Laura who had lived not far from the university. He was asking students about her. She didn't study here, but she appeared near the university buildings quite often.
I think she was dating a guy from the architecture faculty,
Melanie answered thoughtfully when the detective asked her. The detective gave a short nod, writing something in his notebook. He seemed strict and a little cold, but there was no anxiety in his voice. More like the tiredness of someone who had been dealing with other people's stories for a long time.
If you remember anything else, let me know,
he said, leaving his business card. Then he walked on toward a group of students near the entrance. This story intrigued Melanie and Alex. Lovers of all kinds of mysteries and adventures. They definitely loved solving interesting quests. But a real private detective. A missing girl. They had never faced anything like this before. They didn't even notice how they were already investigating the case in their minds together with the detective. As they were walking down the corridor to their classrooms, 2 fifth-year students from the architecture faculty passed by them.
Can you imagine that Laura, our Car's girlfriend?
One of them said. Melanie suddenly slowed down.
No way.
The second girl exclaimed.
I hope nothing bad happened to her. They looked so happy together. Laura was waiting for Carl to finish university. They dreamed of leaving together.
Well, I think she just ran away from him. Maybe she was afraid to tell him she didn't love him anymore. Or maybe she found someone else and left with him. You said yourself that her parents fight a lot and that she wanted to live on her own. Maybe she just didn't wait for Carl.
You're saying that because you always liked Carl. I talked to Laura a little. She's a very sweet girl and she would never do that to Carl.
Alex and Melanie looked at each other.
Did you hear that, Alex?
Melanie said quietly.
They're classmates of that same guy Laura is dating. Let's try to find out who this Carl is. Maybe we can learn more about the missing girl from him.
Do you think he will want to talk to us about her?
Alex replied.
Who knows, but it's worth a try.
You know, I have a better idea. We will find out who Carl is. But we will look for information about the girl in another way.
And how?
A new case?
Alex asked with a thoughtful smile.
But Alex, this isn't funny. This time, it's not about some website that suddenly appeared on my laptop. It's about a missing girl. Something bad could have happened to her.
Alex thought for a moment.
I don't think so. Look, those 2 students were talking about her parents fighting. That could be a reason for leaving home. Maybe she felt hurt. And without telling anyone, she just left. The question is, where? She couldn't just suddenly go somewhere far away all alone.
Her parents? Maybe. But did you hear that one of the students said Laura and Carl really loved each other, and that she couldn't just leave without telling him?
Yes. But she also said that the other girl is in love with Carl. So maybe she kidnapped Laura, so Carl would think she ran away without him. Maybe she plans to support him in a difficult moment and win his heart.
What? Alex, you have such a wild imagination. Let's walk faster, or we'll lose them.
By the end of the school day, Alex and Melanie already knew almost everything about Carl and Laura from social media. It seemed they really were a happy couple. But there was not a single clue about where Laura could have gone.
But we can't just go home like this without finding out anything,
Alex said.
I can't stop thinking about this missing girl either.
Melanie replied.
Wait. I think I found something. It looks like she had an old blog.
Alex turned the laptop toward Melanie. The screen was full of photos.
Look, this is not just a blog. It's a diary and pictures.
Melanie leaned closer. He started clicking through the photos. Narrow streets. Low houses. Almost everywhere. Water. Bridges. Bicycles.
The Netherlands?
Alex asked, his eyes widening in surprise.
But she couldn't just travel that far alone, and without leaving any trace or buying a plane ticket.
Oh, Alex. These are not the Netherlands, it's just the right angle that makes it look like that. It's not only streets, houses, and bicycles here. There are signs too. Look. Wait, I know where this is. And with good physical training, you can get there by bike in 3 or 4 hours. And in that case, like you said, there would be no record of any ticket purchase.
In that case, we call the detective?
Alex exclaimed happily. He was already dialing the number while Melanie quickly packed her things into her backpack. The detective answered almost at once.
We think we may have found the place where Laura could be.
Alex said, trying to sound calm.
It's an old coastal town across the river.
There was a short pause on the other end of the line.
Send me the location.
The detective said.
I will check it.
Melanie and Alex were so involved in the case that they left the detective no choice, and he had to take them with him. An hour later, the three of them were already standing by a small waterfront. Narrow houses reflected in the water, and a few cyclists slowly rode along the wooden paths. The place looked almost like in the photos from the blog. Only quieter and closer than they had expected. They walked a little further, toward a small cafe by the water. On the open terrace sat a girl with chestnut hair, wearing a plaid jacket. In front of her was a cup of tea, and a camera lay beside it. The bicycle she had arrived on was parked inside the cafe area. Laura looked tired, but safe and unharmed. When she saw the detective, she understood that they had come for her. She stayed calm.
My parents are getting divorced.
She said quietly.
I just wanted to be alone. I left my phone there so no one could reach me. I don't want to hear their excuses.
Your parents are worried. They don't know where to look for you. The police told them to wait 3 days, so they asked me for help. Come on, I'll take you home. Your boyfriend Carl is very worried too.
Carl. I don't think it's going to work between us. What's the point of building a relationship if it ends in divorce anyway?
But not everyone gets divorced.
Melanie said, stepping in. Laura looked at her with tired eyes.
I think I've seen you somewhere before.
I'm Melanie. Alex and I study at the same university as Carl. We really wanted to help the detective find you. Alex found your old blog and I recognized this place.
Oh, really?
Laura nodded toward the camera.
I just wanted to take a few more photos of this beautiful place.
The place really was beautiful. The sun was about to set. Laura insisted on waiting for the sunset to take some nice pictures. After that, they all drove back together in the detective's car. The bicycle was bouncing lightly on the back of the car. By evening, they were back home. Later, Melanie found out that Laura's parents, frightened by what had happened, decided not to rush into divorce and to give each other some time. Laura calmed down, thought everything over, and things with Carl were still good. When Alex and Melanie were walking back through the park, it was already dark. The street was brightly lit by lamps.
So,
Alex smiled.
a mini investigation?
Closed.
She replied with a smile. And for the first time that day, she felt that everything had truly ended well. In the end, everything was fine. The girl was safe. And the case was closed. But soon, a new adventure was waiting for Melanie and Alex. A necklace they had found. Something small that would completely change someone's life.